Third time's a charm.
Yes, third time's the charm. End broadcast. It just started and ended it in a second. That was weird. Oh, no, it's on. Hello. Is this thing on? Oh my goodness. Science chatting. That's what we're trying to do. I'm learning how to use this technology, and everyone else is getting the brunt of it. And we lost a few people while things kind of... And I tried to screen share, which is how we got booted out. I tried to do a screen share of this article that we just started discussing about the quasi-particles separating, being able to allow physicists to separate the electron's spin, charge, and orbit. So an electron going around the nucleus of an atom as it's spinning around, that electron has a particular orbit around the nucleus. It has its own spin, usually up or down, and it has a charge. So the quasi-particles are these not real particles that are a result of the interaction between two real particles. So because you have these electrons interacting, there is this not real, this quasi-particle that can be measured. And Terry Bollinger just a moment ago was explaining some stuff, but that did not come out. So this article is really interesting, published in Nature. And originally this work was started, I guess, in the 90s, where researchers, according to this Ars Technica article, were looking at the spin degree of freedom and saw that moved separately from the electric charge. They had two quasi-particles called the spinon, a neutral particle that behaves magnetically like an electron, and the holon, a spinless excitation carrying electric charge. So you have kind of the separation of the different forces. Spinons and holons. I think my son just woke up from the nap. That's nice. These orbitons are spinless and have no charge, and they carry orbital angular momentum. They were predicted, but this is the first experimental evidence of them. So the interesting thing about this is that they've actually, because we cannot directly image or look at electrons at this point, I mean, do they really have the properties that we think that they do? This is going to show that electrons do have spin, charge, momentum, and they can be separated out. And so what they say here, what appears indivisible in free electrons splits under interactions to create something strikingly different and wonderful.
Now, how great a step is it to go from observing this to affecting it and then find an application in quantum computing, like the changing the spin to represent a 0 and a 1, the way computers talk?
Yeah, I mean, I think the going from the basic science aspect of proving the concept and showing that you can do it and to application is, you know, the next big step. So I think your question is absolutely absolutely pertinent. And I think it's, you know, once you have the theory worked out as to how you can observe these things or even affect them. So I guess that's the question. The next question is, how can you affect them? Can you affect them?
Brave new world, huh?
A brave new world, yeah, exactly. It's pretty. There were some really neat kind of basic science stories this week, but that were pretty exciting, like this quasi-particle one, where it doesn't seem like a lot, but it actually could lead to much more. It could. We shall see.
Now, last time we talked, you were talking about science in your backyard.
Yeah. Yes.
Go.
Go. Say
I mean,
more.
have you formulated a plan? Do you have a vision of what that turns into?
Yeah, well, that's the hard part. I've been really like looking around and trying to see how to actually implement it and make it happen. And I think that's without building a brand new social network that people have to join and learn about, I think that's the challenge, and I still don't have an answer to that. So, I mean, for people who are potentially watching this or will watch this in the future, the Science in My Backyard idea is that it would be, it's kind of like a social network, but it could potentially be built on existing social networks as a way for people to find other people who have scientific or technical knowledge in their neighborhood, or to share their scientific or technical knowledge or abilities with other people in the neighborhood. And so it could be kids doing science projects together, or it could be people who are garage tinkerers, showing other people in the neighborhood how they do what they do, gardeners showing or talking about local gardening. It could be people like going on local bird walks or talking about the local just the local environment and teaching people in the neighborhood about what the local environment is. I don't know, setting up a weather station and collecting data, maybe giving talks or helping out at the local school. You know, there are so many different ways this could go. It's DIY, it's teaching, it's making, it's science experiment, citizen science, and it's kind of taking all these things and rolling them up into one package of just sharing information with your neighbors as a way to make communities stronger and better.
I really love the idea of that, and also putting science in front of people in their daily lives and getting people more interested in it, and having their kids also see that happening. So I really wish you luck on that. I can't wait to see what it turns into.
Thank you. I can't wait either. What I'm initially going to do, I'm just going to start by maybe doing some dinner parties and having science conversation dinner parties. And then I'm going to try and set something up. I'm going to go talk with the local fire department and see if they can maybe do like a neighborhood fire demonstration, or maybe talk about the science of fire or something. I think that would be kind of fun to do.
People can put their names in a hat, and it's their house that gets burned down.
Yeah. Exactly. That would be.
They get to be at the forefront of this experiment.
Yeah, I don't know how people would go for that one. But, yeah, so the big problem, aside from just getting local community activists to start doing this in their neighborhoods and just start doing stuff and getting people to just being like, hey, going and meeting your neighbors and trying to connect with your neighbors on a face-to-face basis, I don't really know how to get to the point of how people can connect. So there's libraries, schools, cafes, the post office. There are places that people can connect, but how do you coordinate it? And how do you really make it an easy, seamless experience?
The first thing that comes to mind is well, in this environment that we're in right now, the Hangouts, where we go and we hang out, we go on newscasts, we go and just talk to artists and photo walks and things like that. The people form these relationships here where they can talk about these topics, and then ultimately it turns into a hurl somewhere or a hangout in real life. They end up getting together, and that turns into a more social, real-world connection and gathering. I think this is actually a great place to start. I know you're not trying to make it a hangout adventure, but as a way to kind of kick in the door to it and give a demonstration of how people are getting together and starting that discussion, I think it might be a good medium.
Yeah, absolutely. It's virtual face-to-face, but it's at least a way to start and get people thinking and talking and connecting. And I like the idea of getting people together to hang out from different neighborhoods and maybe talk about what they're doing in their neighborhoods. I like that. And maybe Mike Downs had an idea of, how can maybe coordinating some kind of experiment that people could do during a hangout, like all at the same time.
Well, I talked to the folks at Fix My Electronics too. What they're talking about doing is an occasional project where ahead of time they'll send out a parts list, and people who plan to hang out or plan to be on the viewing end of the hangout can go purchase the parts list. They come, they show up, the hangout's there, everybody's going through the steps to build this thing together. Where I think Mike's idea and what you and Mike were talking about, we're collaborating on a project where everything kind of comes together. These are individual like satellite projects where everyone's doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a really neat idea too.
Yeah, that's neat. I like that. Stuff like that. Hangouts, Google Hangouts, like this is seriously, I've talked with Fraser Kane and Mike Downs and you and some other people, and this is like a world-changing, mind-bending experiment in itself. It's just awesome.
It feels like it. People who engage in it end up being evangelists for it, so you have to forgive us for being enthusiastic.
What's not to be enthusiastic about? I think the only issues with the Hangouts that I have heard about so far have been, just people from different cultures trying to, with different cultural backgrounds, coming together on the same level and being able to really have deep conversations. I think sometimes that can be a stumbling block, but it. Psychologically and from an anthropology perspective, it's potentially very interesting to observe this whole thing as, how can Hangouts shape global communication? How is there some aspect of people getting together and talking more in a global sense that could lead to actual cultural changes?
It's a little bigger than I'm able to look at right now. But yeah, you make a great point.
Yeah, what kind of effects can really be had? It's very exciting. Let's see. So this is a this Hangout thing is interesting. We're on air, so people are watching. How do you see how many people are watching? Where are the stats on this? This is not like Justin TV.
You can check on your YouTube page and see how many people are seeing there, but that doesn't describe how many people are watching in the stream.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of a hole in the analytics, but I think that's something that'll get worked out in time.
Yeah.
Or gosh, I hope so.
I hope so too. It would be great. Being a scientist, stats, analytics, I want to see the numbers. Like, I want to see what's going on so I know how to improve it. When did people start watching? When did people stop watching? What can I time it to? How can I analyze this and
you just like the pretty graphs.
I just want graphs with pretty colors, lots of lines, maybe circles and dots. Exactly.
9 comments in the stream. Okay, I am looking in the stream where the post is where you're hosting on Google+, and Lavin says, anyone there? Can Kiki see this?
Oh.
Lavin, I can see this, and I will be your proxy. Kiki is aware of this.
Excellent.
Paul says, aha, I see some science.
Where is that? Where are you looking?
It's the very, very top post on your profile.
Oh,
Here,
oh, there it is, 9 comments.
There you go.
I just have to open it up. I see you. I see you people there. I see this.
Oh, somebody's offering their IRC services. That's very nice.
That would be cool. If you need IRC chat, awesome IRC with awesome IRC zeronode.net.
Oh, and you just gave them a promo. That's nice.
I did. Yeah, so maybe I will check that out and see if, yeah, it would be great to have an IRC. I'd love to have a chat with this. And so I think maybe that's the next step since not everybody can actually chat. You can join and you can be a part of the Hangout up to 10 people, I think, right? 8 or 10 people. And these, all of us, we can talk, but as far as having conversation, the reason I like the Justin TV chat is I can talk with everybody who joins the chat room. If you can put something in the chat room and I can read it, then I can comment on it.
That's a great benefit. And when you're watching the stream and the comments are there in the stream, you have to continually refresh the page too, because they don't automatically pop up as they're sent in. That's kind of a failing I hope they're really working on too.
They've been popping up automatically for me.
Well, it's on a much greater delay when it comes up.
I see Tesla coils. Somebody yells Tesla coils. Nice. Tesla girl zapper.
Is it Yanni or Johnny says, not so good science chat when you can only watch? Well, that is a matter of getting on the list to be invited for the Hangout.
Yeah, so I can invite up to 10 people, 9 people plus me, right?
Actually, I think if you're broadcasting, I think that the broadcast service occupies a seat as well.
Okay, and the broadcast...
So 8 outsiders host and broadcast. Yes.
So I can invite 8 people. So what we will have to do for future science chats, if they are done here, is I think I will have to have an IRC chat that people can join because the chat here is not sufficient. And I will have to get a list of people who want to be part of the on-air, who want to be part of the video. And
will actually say something?
And actually say something. Yeah.
Jeremy, you were pointing out that Veronica Belmont uses IRC. They also, for what I think is the show that you're talking about, they also use Twitter. So you can easily go in and check a hashtag and see what's popping up there.
Yeah, Twitter hashtags.
So all good ideas for interactions.
Yeah, so I think these are, this is a fun experiment, and, my goal with the science chat, as I said, is to get as many people chatting and bringing up stuff. I want to have the chat part of it open to the public. Only 8 people max actually discussing what's in the chat room and what we're talking about on any given day. But that's part of it's like I love the reach and the democratization of the conversation.
Now, I would caution you to make the public aspect of that, the typing aspect of that, and the people who show up in a Hangout you want to be careful with, because in past experience I've been there where someone has opened a Hangout to public and within a minute and a half it was just completely uncontained and bad stuff happens that you don't want to have to explain to people.
Chat roulette effects. Well, this is another interesting. So going to like the science of people and what people do when given a broadcast license, given the ability to do something, is it some people are going to go to the extremes and they just want to shock people. Some people don't really care what's going on. They want to do their own thing, whether or not you have a certain agenda for it. So. And other people want to do what you want to do. Other people just want to sit there and not say anything. So as far as the on-air and inviting people to actually have a voice, that's I think in the future it'll be just invited individuals, the way that other Hangouts do it. Not open to the entire public, because that kind of a free-for-all could be dangerous, very dangerous. But the IRC, then we would have to have moderators people who are willing to moderate the IRC so that the chat room is public, just like the Twit TV chat room or the Justin TV chat room, where people can put in whatever they want, but there are people sitting with the little delete button or the ban hammer.
One difference would be IRC doesn't hide previous messages that the offender made. Just gets rid of them.
Gets rid of them. Just says goodbye. Goodbye. A mean drunk. Oh, that's a good. Oh, so here's another interesting science story. Thanks for this link. This.
Oh, we said the word Mike Downs, and now he's here.
And now he's here. Here, I'm going to continue to the Scientific American site. There is a study about, I think Justin talked about it last night on This Week in Science, about why some friendly people get hostile and aggressive and angry when they're drunk. What is the mean drunk phenomenon? How is it caused?
Why do you do that, Mike?
Mike Downs, I would hope that you're not a mean drunk.
I'm actually probably not drunk at all, actually, because I haven't actually drunk anything for a very, very long time.
There we go.
I have a theory behind that, though, and then it actually makes me less creative, in other words, I'm wasting time. I can't see the value of drinking something, say, not driving for like 10 hours or something. I'm thinking that's just a waste of time. But what's the topic? Sorry, my topic is getting a browser that works now. We're getting thrown out every 2 minutes.
Topic is science. We're chatting about science. We were talking. I was talking about the fact that I normally, from noon to 1, do a science chat over on Justin TV and allow anyone to be a part of the chat room because it's just me on the video. Anyone can join the chat room. And it's really neat to have that conversation, and that can't really happen here. So we're talking about how I can bring more people into the conversation, and talking about maybe having an IRC room, or But then we started talking about mean drunks because Jeremy posted the article link.
The latest updates
room.
though with the live YouTube that we're now working with, that it goes directly to YouTube, and it's actually found on the live channels, along with like Russia Today and all the Arab channels. And
so is this right now on the YouTube Live?
I will check it out for you, if Chad hasn't done it already, because he was here before me. This only happened like last night, and so when you go to youtube.com/live, and the whole live kit caboodle was happening, well now you are in there, and I'm just hoping you've got a good logo for your YouTube channel.
I don't have a logo. I'm just starting this, so I have a lot of work to do.
Oh, okay. I've just posted on it actually, because some of the TV news people did it earlier, and they've done it with like a blank screen. I did actually join one of your other chats the other week, and I actually posted something in, and then you launched into a monologue about some sciencey stuff, and I thought, oh, I'm going to go. But then again, that's me for doing Hangouts, so I can chat to you.
It's because I do science.
No, it's because it was in text chat, and I was watching the stream, and my text comment went in, and it actually, buried itself very quickly because other people were commenting. I thought, oh my God, she's going to, like not comment on my very funny line, which was so funny I can't remember it. So.
Nice. Okay, so I'm checking YouTube.
Yeah, you're on page 6 of 6.
Yeah, there we go. Somebody's found it.
Awesome. That's not so bad. It's just my image, which is.
But if you tweet it out, that we did the testing on this last night. So if you tweet the YouTube live link, so if you go to your
YouTube. So if I go to the I'm doing that right now. So this is so meta.
What?
This is so meta at the moment.
Meta.
Yes. I'm doing the broadcast, checking on my broadcast, talking about the broadcast.
Oh, right.
Live, it's recorded. It's very meta at the moment.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh, hey, Jeff, I didn't see you pop in there.
Yeah.
So, I get this link.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, then. So the science of get the link, hit the share button, tweet it to make sure you're logged into your Twitter account, and then that will play in the Twitter stream. You're on Twitter and a gazillion followers there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It says 17 are watching.
That means shut up, Mike.
Hey, Kiki, would it be okay if I asked Mike and Chad a question because I saw them pop in? Is that okay?
You're going to hijack Kiki, she'll block you. No, she's very, very...
I'm asking you first.
Over that block button now. Look, she's on the block button now.
Let's do it in chat, Jeff.
Does it have something to do with the science of Google Plus Hangouts?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
It has to do with the integration between YouTube and Google Plus and Hangouts.
Which is funny you should mention that, because I've just got a message back from Chi about that only 25 minutes ago, and he said there's no facility to schedule the forward shows. But go on then, Jeff. Sorry, what's your question?
Well, that's fine. Look, you can finish. Mine is inconsequential. It's
okay, this is
Jeff-oriented.
Okay, Kiki. Yeah, Kiki could actually pull you in today. We've got a caller on the line from wherever Jeff's from. I don't care really.
Right.
Called Jeff, And what's your
and
question, Jeff?
Well, let me ask you. Let me ask the panel of YouTube, Google Plus, Science, Kiki. I have a channel, and YouTube channel, and it has on-air. I now have on-air status, and I was wondering, is there a way to have separate additional channels to that email address? Because I can't. Say I have one called rvtraveltv.com, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's my. But I want to have different channels underneath that on-air status email, and I don't see how that's doable. So, for example, if I had different brand pages, it would be very cool to have different channels underneath your YouTube channel. Yeah, that would be coordinated to that. I don't know if
Kiki
there's
has
a way
an
to do that.
excellent answer for that, don't you, Kiki?
The answer
Kiki is a scientist, and she's got an excellent answer for it.
The answer currently is no.
Ew. Okay. I was hoping I couldn't see it. I didn't know if there was any integration or anything, any trick things out there to make that happen, because that would have been very nice.
You know that your Google Plus account is powered by your Gmail address or your email address.
Yeah, email address.
Yep.
Correct.
Then when you get an on-air, then Google asks for that which Gmail email is powering it. Got it. Right. So that's what gets your on-air channel, which links to one YouTube channel only.
Exactly.
My idea, forget the page totally. Yeah, okay, you know, you can get on air for that if you wish to, which is still streaming to the same YouTube channel. So therefore, if you wanted to go multiple at this stage, yeah, you're right, you need different total accounts and then get multiple on airs.
Yeah.
And then you're filtering down, you know, the whole exposure, aren't you?
Yeah, that does make it would be better if the other way. If you have a centralized email, and then you have brand pages, you switch identities to switch to channels, which would be the premier way to do it. You know, that would be very cool. Obviously, it can't be done so right now, but that would be a good suggestion for someone.
I'm not so sure though. I'm not so sure that you know me. I'm all the the personal person. Like as opposed to the brand page. Because I think brand page is nothing more than a flitting piece of poster, tacked to a telegraph pole in the wind.
Yeah, but see, I made a mistake of not branding myself. Okay,
he says a man with a lower third sitting on his screen.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're right.
Logos everywhere.
I had no clue. I had no clue about that.
What you're describing is a desire to have the pages operate sort of like the quasi-particles that separate an electron spin, charge, and orbit.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to be the neutron. I want to be the guy.
That's a great segue That's a great segue back to Kiki's science lesson then. So,
yes, let's hear
isn't it really?
Kiki, what's on today's agenda?
Well, we were talking about quasi-particles, like Chad was just bringing up. However, we had recently switched to what makes people mean when they get drunk.
So, Jeff.
I don't. What makes me mean when I get drunk?
Is that a serious topic?
Yeah, that's very serious.
It is a serious topic. It was
fun but serious.
Fun but serious. Published by a researcher psychologist at Ohio State University. Wow. He got, according to this Scientific American article, got 500 volunteers to play a game. And so those volunteers were split evenly between men and women.
We're playing moose game.
They believed they were competing against an opponent to press a button as fast as they could. But really it was the opponent was actually just a computer program, and the computer program wasn't actually competing against them. The computer program was just deciding randomly whether or not they'd won or lost. So if they lost, they got a shock, an electrical shock. I love studies like this. And then when the opponent lost, the participant got to give the shock, and they chose how long and intense that shock would be.
I think I've heard about this.
Wow.
So we know that people, when they're put in kind of control situations, can get to be mean anyway. But he designed a survey also. I mean, there have been experiments done previously where they basically made some people like prison guards and other people prisoners, and rotated people through the different roles. And every single person who was the guard they ended up being belligerent, and they were very nasty to their prisoners. So there's a certain power makes people a little bit little bit mean sometimes.
Was the prisoner's dilemma?
So drunk guards would be even worse.
Yeah, so how do you bring alcohol into this mix, right? So he designed a survey to measure their concern for future consequences of their actions. So how their actions of giving people a shock would actually affect the other person, and how concerned they were about that. And so half of the participants drank an alcoholic beverage, alcohol mixed with orange juice that was enough to make them drunk, legally drunk, so probably 0.08% blood alcohol here in the United States. The other half received a very tiny amount of alcohol, so not enough to make them drunk. Subjects who expressed little interest in consequences were more likely to administer longer and more intense shocks. And the sober group were slightly more aggressive than people who cared about consequences. So when drunk, their belligerence was off the charts. So this trait is not just straight ahead, but people who have the tendency to be a little bit belligerent or angry, when they're sober, they can keep that in check, but then alcohol takes those checks and balances away, and so they are more likely to act on their aggressive impulses.
And it converts your empathy to a appetite for comedy. Because when you're drunk, there's nothing funnier than watching somebody go, ow!
Ow! Shock! There's nothing funnier than hitting that shock button.
Well, it is the classic Three Stooges movie, right? So,
yeah.
And guys love Three Stooges. Come on.
Is there a correlation between the alcohol intake and, say, the sleep deprivation, which wasn't that study in the 50s or 60s with military?
Yeah, so sleep deprivation causes the same, very similar effects to being drunk, where you lose coordination, you have low impulse control, the prefrontal cortex that is usually in charge of directing your wants and what you want to do, and keeping your impulses in check, that gets a little bit lazy when you're tired. And so I suspect that being tired would have similar effects, but I don't know that anybody has done that kind of a study.
What about putting, before you put the group in, whether you had some kind of psychological profiles that you could say that you've got a like person? Because if you just put some randoms in there, and one person had, like, I don't know, a thimble full of wine and went crazy, and the other one had like 16 bottles and was like, still sober.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's not, because people react differently, don't they, with just general. Is there any text in there, say, quadruplets or twins or?
Oh no, I don't know that they've done that. That would be a good.
Because people do, don't they? I mean, I know from childhood, people would have like a little drink, wouldn't they? And some people are rolling around, and the other ones want to fight everybody, in the dark or something. It's well, it is, isn't it? It's.
I don't have to look that far back for examples of that, Mike. So.
No,
I know plenty of really simple drinkers.
Well, no, I'm just saying that the chemical imbalance, with, say, the alcohol going in along with the psychology and the behaviourals, and you can have to go some, wouldn't you, to get your fair test out there, I guess.
Yeah, and I think additionally it needs to be blinded so that you don't actually know that you're drinking alcohol, or you think you're drinking alcohol, but maybe you're not. So
well, that's easy, isn't it? Vodka straight in the eyeball, isn't it? Vodka in the eyeball or something, that would blind you.
Vodka in the eyeball.
That would.
It's vodka in your eye.
I know. I'm
doing that.
Taking the effect of the weight of the person and stuff like that for
I know
how much
exactly.
they weigh.
If you put like scotch in the eyeball and it had like some ice in it or something, that could give you a nasty like cut on your cornea or something, couldn't it?
Yeah, especially if you're drinking in the dark. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. One way you could probably do is inhaled. So they have vaporizers that people use sometimes. That's a trend that went for a while. I don't know if it's still going, but people were using vaporizers to vaporize alcohol like vodka and inhale it so that they could get drunker faster, which seems like a really bad idea.
Who's chairing this meeting? This talk? Yeah. Are we talking about science? Are we talking about the fast ways to get drunk or something on a Friday night? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, it started out. It's very scientific. Very scientific. I'm starting to think of ways that you could, if you're trying to control and give people a drink, are you getting alcohol or not getting alcohol? What is the way that you can deliver the alcohol without them actually tasting it? So you have to give a very fruity drink, which is probably why they use something like orange juice, like they did in this study, to cover the taste of alcohol. But if you have enough alcohol, there's no cover. If you're like Jeff was saying, you have to have the body mass index for the person. And so if you have high enough body mass, you probably have to have a significantly larger amount of alcohol in the drink. And so there's a point that you're going to taste the alcohol to drink enough of it. So how do you get it into their system without them actually knowing? And so that goes back to Mike's point of some people just drink a little tiny bit and they start acting stupid and rolling around on the ground.
Well, I think in that case, you could benchmark response times and how you react to your environment. You can time how long it takes people to do things and know how affected they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just remind me of one of the tests they were doing. What was it? One of the tests.
These days we're tracking
the article
puppies.
there. What? It was with what? Walking
Pushing a button in a contest and applying electric shock.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the electric shock one was good, wasn't it? Because yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, but it's interesting. They're giving it to other
people.
people. They're not doing it to the animals, which is, kind of...
Yeah, but is that an alcohol? That's a behavioural. That's not an alcohol, though, is it? Well, okay, yes, it is secondarily.
It is when you stop caring about people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but if we did this
comedy.
right now, yeah, and certain things happened, and we knew that we were going to get shocked because people were watching this stream and they were putting negative or positive comments on.
Right.
Yeah, okay, right now, yeah, okay, so, if she's watching, invent this, please, David, come and shock us all through our headsets or something. Now, would it help me or hinder me if I was drunk, knowing I was going to get shocks through my headset? Like me and Chad have got the same, because have you heard of the show I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Which is in Australia, but it's,
No.
the idea is they have to eat stuff, and it's called Bush Tucker Trials, and so they have these, everybody from, LA to a British to whatever, in the middle of the jungle, and then to get their food, they have to eat like a kangaroos, like scrotum and eyeballs and all these different things. So some of them, yeah, I know, they literally crawl through these things, but one of them, it was a quiz, and they are stood around and they have to put their hands, on a button. And if they get something kind of wrong, they will get a shock through, through their hands or the handles and things like that. And that got to that sort of stage where there might have been no shocks, but the anticipation of getting or not getting that shock was enough to freak people out. And one English actor said, "I don't do electric shocks," and then just stood off the set.
Well, it'd also be interesting, married people versus single people, because I think married people would be able to take a shock a lot easier.
Oh, Jeff, you're not going to win that argument. Forget the science. Nobody wins. Everybody knows who wins out of that before you even start.
Yeah,
so
we have
scientists for that, Jeff.
We built up the tolerance when you're married, so you get to stand a lot more shocks.
Oh, Keith, you get back to the science before it gets out of hand in here.
Okay, so other cool, really interesting studies that I saw this last week. There was one study looking at blood type and infection by rotavirus. And it found that certain individuals with type A blood type are more likely to be infected by some strains of rotavirus, and that there's something about your blood type and the way that this species or these strains of rotavirus have evolved with us that allows these certain strains to infect the cells of the gastrointestinal tract more easily in people with this particular blood type. And so for me, I think it's a really interesting question. A lot of times we don't really take blood type into consideration in medical treatment or in how diseases affect people, more than, okay, you need a blood transfusion. What's your blood type? You don't really... Your blood type is maybe that kind of consideration, but now this suggests that there are viruses and maybe bacteria that have specifically evolved along with to exist best with particular blood types, and so you may or may not be more likely to, get particular diseases based on your blood.
That makes sense.
Can I ask a question about this? If anybody's got a blood expert in here, I saw a documentary a few years ago in the UK, and it implied that if there was a hierarchy in, say, a work environment, that the bosses had a better blood, whether let's assume that was thinner or whatever it was, than say some of the the ant workers down the line, and therefore the psychological well-being and everything else, because you happen to be the boss. Now that could be a stress-related thing, but have you heard of anything like that? Because I must admit, I just saw it. I'm going back about, I don't know, 15 years or something. I saw it and went, wow. At that time I wasn't, like, should we say, educated enough to think, is that true or not? But I'm thinking, in one way, they were saying that if you tested, and this is the craziness, perhaps it's true, that if you tested, like, one of the workers, and, you took a blood sample and lined it up like the Pepsi challenge, you could almost say which was the boss, or which was the vice president, and which was the, the person who, like, I don't know, stacked beans on the shelf or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mike's also from a monarchy.
A monarchy.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've actually heard that taller people are more CEOs and CFOs and higher positions and things like that than shorter people, but never blood type. So.
Yeah, I don't know that blood type actually is involved in it, but I don't know that anyone's actually ever looked at it. So I mean, that could be a really interesting question. But I do know that that if you were to actually really look at the stress hormones in the blood, so you could take a blood sample and look at the stress profile based on hormones, you could, without a doubt, say this person is the CEO, this person is working in the mailroom.
I think maybe about a month ago I read something about in Japan that the people that seem to have a higher standing have a shorter lifespan. So they're and that the people that are just the workers are living longer because of the stress and all that stuff. So that's just kind of makes sense. The stress is going to just kill
away at you, kill you. Yeah, and there's really interesting stuff. There was another study that came out like sometime in the last week or two related to primates. I think might have been. I don't know, it was some monkey species. I don't remember.
Oh, come on. Tell us the monkey species. You can't say that.
Planet of the Apes, here we go.
Did this monkey thing have a tail or not?
I don't
was it a monkey or was it an ape? Was it furry?
I think it was a monkey. It was not a chimpanzee. It was a monkey that we're talking about.
A monkey
so it was
with a tail.
A monkey, not an ape.
I've got a picture of some tamarins that are sunbathing in my Google stream, if you want to see that.
I don't think they were tamarins, but that's great. Let's see.
Were they sunbathing? Yeah, I'll look it up, because I think it's just a funny line. That they're actually sunbathing. What they're doing angled sunbathing, so they can actually get the sun rays in to actually dry their fur. And one guy has said, look, I can do this, I think you need to do it as well. And there's 4 of them all lined up. It's a funny thing. Chadder even like it, I think. Hold on.
So
show your kids, Chad.
Going along with this picture, I'll tell the story of this recent study. But they actually found that the social structure, they looked at females in this particular group of monkeys, who I'm not remembering who they were, of course. But they are you sharing? He's looking.
He's looking. He's trying to figure out. He's pulling up Paul Nesmith.
Yeah, so they looked at the female monkeys and their social rank, because within the monkeys the hierarchy is very definite, and you have the alphas, the betas, and the deltas, and everything. So they looked at the social rank of the individuals, and then they did the hormone profile, looked at their stress hormones, and not just their hormones, but the genes that are responsible for for creating the proteins, so that the activation of the genes. And they found that particular genes were related to social rank. And if they took monkeys and they shifted their social rank by but experimentally they can actually shift the hierarchy of these populations of monkeys. And here's this cute little.
There we go. We're in.
Our picture.
Look.
Those are lemurs.
So you got 3 there. So the guy on the right must be. Sorry.
Those are lemurs.
Golden line. No, they're not golden line. What are lemurs? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, lemurs.
You've got that one there. Definitely. Hold on a second. Sorry, we're on air. You just have to cover over this bottom section if you want. You didn't see that. And then you've got this one here looking around. So look, do it like this. And what I'd absolutely love is, oh, they're looking around the corner here. Is this guy here with the left hand. He is very Karate Kid there, isn't he?
No.
He is.
Just got done throwing a baseball.
Wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, social rank linked to immune status, and that if you shift the social rank of the primates, it changes the immune status. So the implication is that, say you're a CEO, the implication is, okay, maybe this isn't just in monkeys, maybe this is applicable in humans too. So we know that, like you were saying, Japanese CEOs dying younger, stress hormones are higher in people in positions of power. If you were to change that, so suddenly, you know, the CEO is fired or quits his job and goes and lives on an island and is no longer the CEO but has a boat. You know, what does that do to the genetics, like the actual creation of genes related to the immune system? And it will shift it. So that's.
Can I just say, for those people who are watching, Dr. Key, there's no way implying that any CEO in the world was actually also equal to a monkey, whether by design or...
Yeah.
I'm not.
Disclaimer.
No, that's the disclaimer. So if any CEOs who are watching want to sue Dr. Kiki... No, I'm just saying it's a disclaimer to say that you can't say that, you know, CEOs are monkeys or equal to monkeys, you know, in the real world, because again...
CEOs
your CEO.
are apes.
Apes.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go. Here we go.
At least until the computers take over.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now I wonder how much that could relate to not only stress but diet, because the affluent would also have access to different diet and lifestyle factors other than just the stress.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
So there's the stress, but there's also the like you said, the lifestyle factors. It's a very complicated system. But
It is. I used to travel. I used to do like 35%, 25% travel, and you know, when you start eating out of hotels because of work, you're 4 days a week, 5 days a week, you get really fat. You know, you have to take clients out to big dinners. Everyone wants, you know, stuff like that, and you know, it's like sometimes you get, you know, just ravished. Your body comes home and you're going, wow, what did I just do? I fly halfway across the country. I get to a Marriott at 10 o'clock at night on the East Coast, and you order like, you know, a big burger or something, you know. And it's really hard on your body.
We've actually got 25 people watching this stream on YouTube, and we don't know the amount on the G Plus stream, but thanks for watching us talk about science, if that's what we're talking about. Sorry, Kiki.
it is. We're talking about science monkeys.
Stress. Stress monkeys.
I don't know how much he traveled, but Caligula also had different factors in his life that probably tore him down. I'm sure it wasn't Marriott.
Marriott. I have no way of saying that the Marriott tore me down, but you know, I'm just letting you know that it's tough for those people who have to travel a lot. It's very stressful.
Yeah, and so I guess for, you know, quality of life and for life expectancy, say you want to live really long, you know, how can you actually take these studies to heart? You know, should you take these studies to heart? And as far as any one particular study, especially a study on monkeys that shows that stress affects your immune system, or, you know, social rank, what you're doing for what the monkey job is affects their immune system, and then by that counts, you know that it's going to have some effect on how your body is going to last into the future, how long it's going to keep going.
But there you have that, you know, what they call the is it the French effect, and then, you know, the Okinawans. You know, Okinawans live per capita the longest lifespan on the planet. And then you have the Parisian, I think it's called the Parisian effect, where they have the worst diet, but they're the healthiest. You know, it's just it's just weird that, you know, how do you reconcile stress, diet, you know, lifestyle, all those things, you know, it's very hard to do.
Do what feels good for you.
Yes, ma'am. I'm signing off now.
There we go back to Caligula.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah,
we've just gone up. I'm just on the comments actually on YouTube for some reason, and we've gone up from 25 to 32 viewers. So those 7 viewers must be coming in because we've either mentioned monkeys or stress.
Monkeys or stress. Or, as Jeff said, stress monkeys.
Stress monkeys. Yeah, that's what we should have called it. Is somebody a comment here says the title is quite broad. Perhaps we should have called it Science Chat Stress Monkeys, and then we had a
monkeys.
Yeah.
Very specifically talking about the monkeys. I was going to. So I had my DNA sampled by the company 23andMe, and they look at what are called single nucleotide polymorphisms. So they don't look at the entire genome, everything contained in your chromosomes. They just look at specific point mutations within that. So it makes it a lot simpler for them to actually get the data. And so based on those point mutations, they can tell you whether or not you have genes or mutations of genes that are have likelihood of blonde hair versus red hair, blue eyes versus brown eyes, the likelihood of Alzheimer's or not. All of these things based on what researchers have figured out about different genes so far. And there's a lot of slop in this system, so it's not a completely accurate system, but one of the interesting results, going back to like diet and lifestyle and that kind of stuff, there is a gene in my genome that has been shown in previous studies to be better for people eating the Mediterranean diet. So with this gene, having the Mediterranean diet, a diet that's high in fat, but good fats, actually leads to being slimmer. So people with this gene become slimmer even though they're eating more fat. And I have it. Yes!
Hey, here you go.
Oh, really?
Sure.
Like hitting the lotto. Good work.
I know.
There you go.
Is it conclusive though? If they only took the single strand of DNA, was that conclusive across the board? Not to make you feel any better or worse.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, it's not conclusive, and there are other traits that it says I should have that I know I don't have because they're physical traits. So some of it is right, some of it's wrong, and I don't know exactly. It seems like it's a crapshoot. Like it's basically pretty random.
Just for the people who don't know who are watching, how do they extract this piece of DNA from you? Is it like a hammer and chisel or something, or a massive big syringe the size of a hose pipe?
I spit in a tube.
Baby.
Saliva.
So that's I think that's founded by one of the Google wives, right? I forgot what
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube. YouTube.
Was it YouTube?
Yeah, they put a YouTube close to you and you have to spit in it. Is that what you're saying?
YouTube.
I spit on YouTube.
Nice.
Was it Sergey's wife, you mean?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have I got it around the right way? Yeah.
Yeah, and he's actually there's an article in Wired, I think, about him. He's actually very interested because he thinks he has genetic predisposition for Parkinson's or something?
For being a billionaire.
Yeah.
No.
It's not Parkinson's. There's something that he has a disease that he has a genetic predisposition for.
He told everybody about that in a press conference, didn't he, many years ago? Yeah.
But it's all it is predictive analysis, and basically lets you steer your lifestyle a certain way to hopefully make a difference later on in life. So that's a great idea. How much did it cost, may I ask?
I got it. Oh, and today is, I believe 4/20 is also DNA Day, and I bought it a year ago on DNA Day, and they were giving a special for $99. And so I don't know if they're doing the same thing again this year, but that's what I did.
Ching, ching.
And it took a year for it to come back?
Endorsement. Ching, ching.
No, I got it a long time ago. I just haven't been.
I'm going to say, wow, if it takes a year for it to come back.
No.
I'll just have to wait here. What we need for DNA sampling is to put some kind of like, a plastic spittoon on the floor or something, and say who can sample their DNA and spit it out, the spittle further enough through airborne. And then you can say if you can get airborne spittle, whether that will actually influence the results or not, whether it's in a strong wind, a bit like archery. So don't listen to me. I talk absolute rubbish.
I was just thinking that.
What time is it here?
Where's that block button?
There we go. I like that.
I'm just looking at Sergey's Russian thing that he's got.
You might be punched.
Jeff, you have you have Wirecast or something, don't you?
No, I'm using some science thing, some science prize.
Look at that. Look at you with the fanciness. I gotta
But
figure
you should do this, something similar.
Kiki's got Meta on it. Kiki's got Meta.
Go back and forth, you know?
I know. I need to do this as well. I need to figure out the technical aspects.
Are you doing, Kiki, by any chance, the comments on the G Plus stream, the YouTube stream?
Oh, yeah.
I've been trying to go back and forth. Somebody is complaining about the rather broad title. As far as
yeah, well, we solved that one. It was stressed out monkeys or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, stress monkeys.
Incredibly, I need to pop out because I have 2 stress dogs that need to go outside. So
stress dogs.
Stress dogs.
I'm probably actually going to have to go here in about the next 5 minutes because I have a babysitter who I need to set free.
I know that's gone up to $157 an hour now, that baby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going up, isn't it? Yeah. It was $85 an hour last time, wasn't it? It's gone up.
It's gone up. It's gone up.
Thank you so much for the invite. And Kiki, if you need to know how to do the switching thing, let me know and I'll show you how to. It's pretty easily done.
I would love to know.
A monkey could do it.
A monkey could. A stress monkey could do it.
So I should be able to because I'm an ape.
Exactly.
A relative of an ape.
Yeah, we can eat fatty foods. Now we know.
I can. Yeah. I don't know about you. I don't know if you have the gene for it. So.
Probably not. I have the gray hair gene. So.
Jeff, I'll send you some links in your absence so I get full credit.
Excellent.
Right, here we go. No, that's not it. Sorry, I'm reading about Sergey.
Mike's reading.
Oh, yeah, no. Bryn's mother, Eugenia, has been diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2008. He decided to make a donation, yada, yada. Yeah, it's Parkinson's. Okay, cool. Okay. Not cool, I mean, just fact. Any other topics for the last 5 minutes? Hit us with a super, super topic that's going on in science at the moment. Really good one.
A super, super topic for the chat. I mean, that's what the chat room is supposed to do. Give us topics to talk about. Tell us what to talk about if you're watching on YouTube.
Was this chat planned, by the way, or did you think you'd have some energy tonight to... I was looking, I didn't find anything. Apart from when, of course, you jumped into my Hangout and then I got kicked out and then I got in and you'd gone. It was like,
sorry.
Yeah, thanks. As I got back into the Hangout, I saw the black dot going down.
Figuring things out, trying to make things work. No, so I normally do this chat over on Justin TV, the science chat, and their chat room wasn't working. And so I decided I wasn't getting any chat back from people in the chat room. I wasn't interacting with anybody, and I needed interaction, and so I was like, okay, we're going to Google Plus, let's try the Hangout.
And the Hangouts have prevailed.
And the Hangout has prevailed, so yeah, this has been good.
Okay, what about a question then? How does it feel, I believe this is right, to be on the featured or suggested user list at Google Plus? Is that where you are at the moment?
Yeah, I am. It's a little surreal.
Do you wake up in the morning and think, oh my god, I'm there?
No.
Or is it no? Sorry, it's not she. Is it somebody else? Take her off the list. She doesn't want to be there. No.
She's decided not.
No. It's really it's an honor that they decided I'm interesting enough to put on the featured users list.
Did you know that? Did you know, or did you just wake up one day and think, God, I've just had 7,500 followers in a day? What's going on here?
No, someone I know at Google wrote me and let me know that I was being put on the list. And so I kind of had a little warning. And then I couldn't find myself on the list. And I was like, where am I? You lied to me. And then they told me. I still haven't actually seen myself on the featured user list, but I guess I'm an interesting or noteworthy person, or fun and interesting.
Tech, wouldn't you? Would you be in tech?
I'm not in tech, though. I'm not in tech.
I'm on it, Mike.
You're not on it. No, I know people who are on it. Of course I know people who are on it.
No, I mean I'm on the task, Mike.
Oh, sorry, right. No, I mean if you wanted to be, I know how to get people on the list. I know the theory behind it, so that's quite cool.
So getting onto the list, it's cool. My numbers have gone up, but I don't know that I've seen a lot of interaction increase. I'm still getting most interaction with the same individuals that I was interacting a lot with previously. There are
spam messages and things turning up.
There's some more spam showing up for sure. People are really nice and flagging it when I don't catch it. But yeah, there's an increase in spam, but it's not terrible. It's really not bad. But,
are you a Gmail user?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I set up for someone else with a gazillion followers, like a filtering labeling system with all nice brightly colours and things, and that it makes you whiz through there if when you get up to like a million or something. That's quite. But I think for me, my tip is to watch the Indian sort of area of the world, because I think that's got phenomenal things. Now, the scientific news that broke today was the addition of 41 countries coming out of like Africa and India to use Google Plus with SMS messaging, which is very, very interesting. Yeah, it's not. I think it's in the US, or where you go to use settings, you can add a telephone number in. UK, you can't do it. Canada, you can't do it, and a lot of other countries. But they've just added that in. But if you think about, in terms of technology, the way Africa is, they do all their banking or something, don't they, with mobile phones and things? I believe it's how you communicate in Africa.
Yeah, they do all of it through mobile.
Yeah, so I think the science there is pretty cool. But I think coming out of the way this system is certainly coming out of India, of anything to do with India, which I think is awesome. But that's probably not anything. Oh, Chad, you done your work? So it's Webcam Max, next split. That's not about science. It's like it's talking about science.
Jeff was talking about how Kiki can do the camera effect that he had done.
Yeah.
And I promised that I would take away all his credit for that by providing the information myself.
Oh, here we go. I've got a lovely question on the YouTube, and a couple of seconds ago, there's two lots of hello. Then somebody called Synthan2000 a minute ago says, how about eating pickled food for long life?
Pickled food?
Pickled food.
That's interesting. So pickled food has a different, has an acidic content, so it's high in acidity. So it would change the pH of your blood if you ate a lot of pickled food. It's not going to make you pickled, for sure, but the acidity of your blood can affect metabolism and the way that protein interactions take place, the way that enzymes work. There's definitely a lot of importance to acid-base reactions within your body. It'll change metabolism, respiration, which could potentially affect longevity. But I don't know for sure. I don't know that there's the pickle diet.
What about equal and opposite to alkalize? So, for an example, can you alkali a food? If you pickle a food, could you alkaline a food? I don't know. That's a question. Do that. That's a good.
But I can't think of an example that you would
get like
make something more.
An orange and surround it by toothpaste or something. Would that work? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, what has got some kind
baking
of like
soda,
strong?
Baking soda, baking powder. That's.
That must
alkaline.
be why they put a sliced lime in, like a beer or. What's the thing? I don't know, back of your hand stuff, the shots. Tequila, is it, or something you do with a load of lime? I don't know.
I don't know.
Just trying to get the alcohol weak link back in there again from to round up the
earlier. It's so that you have something to throw at people after you're done taking a shot. Yeah, no, eating pickled food, I like pickles. And it's true. So vegetarians versus carnivores have different. Their pH of their blood is different because of the amino acids in meat. Amino acids are more acidic, and so that leads to meat eaters having a slightly more acidic blood than vegetarians. So hence, this can affect metabolism.
So question off topic, but on topic. Which do you prefer, and don't lie, about doing your text-based chat? Which you get more laughs out of? Is it through the Google Hangout with the right folks in there, or is it just like you, a screen, and a load of text?
Yeah, so on Justin TV, it's me, a screen, and a load of text. So it's just a little chat window on the side.
And does that give you a lot of laughs? Does it make you smile? And she's look at that, reading that body language there, Chad. You got that. And what about Google Hangouts?
I'm over here looking for lists for you.
And what about the live interaction stuff? Have you been in one with like 10 people in there? You know, like for an hour or I mean, you know, in the Hangout I'm talking about in terms of and then
Not
ask
that many
people,
people for so long.
oh,
No.
you should do it, and then do that, and then politely ask them to leave because you've got another 50 people who want to get in. That sort of thing. It's good fun when you do it like that. Says me.
Yeah.
You
Okay,
know.
thank you. Leave now.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. I did it on there a couple of weeks ago, and there was.
I can ban all of you. Get out.
No, but you have to say it's really fantastic. You know, nice to see. I did something with 3 photographers, Mike Shaw, Alan Shapiro, and who's the other one? Mahalo from Serbia, plus Vivian from New York, and they'd all got 1 million plus followers each, and they're all in the room. And I got a list. You know, that's why I've asked you about pre-planning for a couple of weeks before, and then I had a list of about 50 to 60 people who wanted to get in to meet these people, and so I was in there. But the funny thing is that it was my OnAir, my account, and I actually got booted out of it 4 times. Through the error because but the great thing about it, and you need to know this, is if you get booted from your own OnAir, you have got up to 10 minutes to get back in again to keep the stream going, a bit like plate spinning.
And it just keeps going while you're not.
It just keeps going. Yeah, I'm not so sure if you actually get a bit of a black screen at YouTube, but the idea is that everybody is in there and you've been thrown out. Then you come back in again, and it kind of keeps itself going.
The broadcasting service is a separate seat from you, so that could account for that.
You just hope that the broadcasting seat doesn't get thrown out.
Well, no, that's yeah, I know. But that's in the background, though, isn't it? We had broadcasting service in twice when they were going over to the YouTube thing a couple of weeks back, but. No, I know what you're saying. Now, what I'm pushing Kiki to say, oh yeah, Hangouts are so fantastic. You need to broadcast these and then get, oh yeah, and then Justin, will be just padlocks on the door and it's shut and there's no text and it's tumbleweeds and.
No, there are a lot of experiments still to do, and I mentioned it earlier. My goal with Hangouts, with the science chat, with the things that I try and do is I want to democratize the conversation around science. I want to open up the conversation to as many people. If you have a question about science, you should be able to ask it. I just believe that not many people get an opportunity to talk with scientists about science, and so that's what I do by doing the chat, is open myself up to questions, and hopefully there are other people with knowledge that can add to what where I'm weak and don't know things. And that together we can have a really cool conversation. With the chat room, as many people as can get in there, and I can read the question, I can talk to. And so I like the idea of bringing people in and kicking people out, and bringing people in, kicking people out, because then you give people an opportunity to ask a question and have a little bit of conversation, and then you're like, get out, next.
And you have to do it exactly like that, too.
You think so?
Absolutely.
And can I just ask, because I have to say this again, won't I, that when I met you last time, I said I have no clue, I've never watched your shows and all that stuff, but I did have a little look in the back Yana. But you had like a background, and there was a white coat that was hung up behind you. Is the white coat gone now? Is that like disappeared forever?
No, I just didn't put up
He'll
my
be back
walls
when Marshall
today.
comes back.
Yeah, when Marshall's out of town. My husband's out of town. So, I have this dividing wall that separates the baby area, his part of the office, and my part of the office, and so the lab coat hangs on that as a white balance.
Gotcha, right.
My webcam is just an eyesight, and it's rather weak, so the white balancing is not good. So I need to have something white. Like a lab coat.
When I was positioned upstairs in the kitchen and I'd start a Hangout, I'd have to open the downstairs door and turn on the stairs light and have it bounce off the door. So those days are gone, but yeah, I'm used to having quirky adaptations to look decent on camera.
Yeah.
Can I just update very quickly? Sorry, on here it's
yes.
This is nice. Greetings from Mexico. We've got pro and prebiotics in pickle. We've got fermented pickled egg. No, sorry, I'll say that again because it's spelled in a lovely way. Fermented pickled veg. Yeah, got with the C missed off of pickled. That's B4311. Thanks for the shout out, mates. That's from Synthin 2000. Sauerkraut is pickled cabbage. Thank you very much. And have you heard of PKU, which is from Pokemon Champion 4? PKU?
Yes, I've heard of it.
as it goes into Google very, very quickly, or any other search engine, but probably Google.
PKs are usually protein kinases, but I don't know if I'm remembering. Oh, no, phenylketonuria. Right. Exactly. That's interesting.
What I was thinking. Yeah.
That's interesting. So phenylketonuria, PKU, is a condition where people are born without the ability to break down phenylalanine.
Can I use my catch you, if you can, DiCaprio line there with Chad and say, Chad, do you concur? Chad, do you concur? That's what. Do you remember that line from DiCaprio when he was a doctor in the Catch Me If
I'm
You
not
Can?
going to participate in your little sideshow here, Mike.
Well, Kiki said, Dr. Kiki said something, and I obviously know, don't know, because I'm a trained, whatever I am, to say, do you concur?
You're a trained monkey. Anyway, PKU. So people who have PKU can't. There's one of the sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, that they cannot have because it causes a problem. I think it's aspartame. I think aspartame. Anyway, I don't remember. But yeah, I'm aware of PKU. I don't know enough about it. I know it's a problem for some people. What did this person want to know, Pokemon Champ? Oh, you have it. So is that right? That it's aspartame? That's the
Have you got it as well?
Compound you can't consume. Pokemon Champion Full. It's Champion Full.
Can you read that line there? Have you got the YouTube open? Have you the one that says phenylketonuria? Yeah, is that the one that they're just putting in? Yeah, I knew. I was going to say that's already beat me to it, didn't you? I don't believe it.
Phenylketonuria.
I never admit that a third of my degree was biology, but I have to admit it now, don't I?
So it's genetic, passed on through families. It's a recessive trait, so it's if you have the recessive gene, you have to have 2 copies of the recessive gene to actually have it come out. So it means that both of your parents have to have this recessive gene. So missing the enzyme called phenylalanine hydroxylase can't break down phenylalanine. So related substances build up in the body and can cause brain damage, unfortunately. And interestingly, it's also involved in the production of melanin, which is a pigment for skin and hair. So you have lighter hair, skin, and eyes. Other symptoms involve hyperactivity, seizures sometimes, tremors, many different problems. So ADHD appears to be the most common problem, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. And an enzyme assay can find out if parents carry the gene for PKU. And hopefully in the future, it says here, a chorionic villus sampling can be done during pregnancy to screen the baby for PKU, and that just sounds, that's invasive. It's absolutely invasive. And so hopefully in the future what we're going to be able to do is just use the blood from the mother to be able to get an idea of whether or not the child has certain disorders like PKU. Because we know that baby's blood and mother's blood gets mixed. And while the mother is pregnant, the blood from the baby actually gets into the mother's bloodstream. So current methods are using blood tests. You just take some blood from the mom, and you can find blood cells from the child and test those blood cells for chromosomal
to the
problems.
current way. And also related to the ADHD is gluten and casein sensitivities. You said PKU is related to that. Yeah, those are things that I'm currently looking at.
Mm.
So thank you, person in chat, for bringing that up.
Yeah, if proteins containing phenylalanine are not avoided, it can cause serious problems even within the first year of life, leading to retardation. That's drastic. Damaging.
So anybody watching with any of those initials or anything, you know, it's drastic. You heard it from Kiki. No, I'm not. Don't look at me. I'm just the idiot in the corner when it comes
Guy
to
in the
this stuff.
corner.
You have to add that to your profile.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
Like Downs Media.
What's
Idiot
coming
in the
up?
corner.
Yeah, exactly. What's coming up, Kiki, for the net? Is it a regular thing, or are you only going to visit us here at G Plus Land when Justin breaks?
No. Hopefully, I'd like to make this a regular thing. I think it would be now that it's linked up to YouTube Live, and the interface is becoming better and better, and so I think that I'm going to do this more often. I think, though, that to do the science chat the way I like to do the science chat, I need to have an IRC, that I have just one place to monitor, so I'm not going back and forth between the YouTube chat and the comments on the Google Plus page to see if people have actually made comments, remembering to refresh those things. It's just too much. It's too much.
Unless you had a Chad to do it for you or something, because he's very good at that.
Right. Unless I have a Chad.
And I thought you were going to say I'd do this completely again if Mike Downs just wasn't here. That would really make it smooth.
Certainly the Justin solution was less disruptive.
Yeah.
I know. I was control there.
Yeah, there's a little more control. It's just me.
Yeah, but I was depressed because I saw it in your stream, clicked over to watch you and everything, and I thought because I couldn't interact my normal way, which is just like butt in and interrupt and just stuff like that, then I felt left out. But that's me for being Hangout man, isn't it? Really?
Don't feel.
Well,
like
it is,
that.
isn't it? You can get into some Hangouts with some interesting people, isn't it, and things like it,
Yeah. So I do have to go though.
I know, $3,000 for a babysitter.
I know, it gets more expensive every minute.
Know. And then the babysitter turns up in like a Rolls Royce, which is brand new and everything. And you're like,
I'm living in a shack.
I thought cell providers had steep overage charges.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I am supporting my babysitter, paying off her school loans. It's great. I still have to pay off mine.
Oh, hold on a second. Conspiracy. What am I talking about? The comments, the difficult ones that keep coming onto YouTube and the Google Plus stream are probably from the babysitter, actually asking you another question and keeping you along. If I can
drag
keep
it out,
them there, I could get a new Xbox out of it. I could get a Nexus or something, and a Chromebook maybe. And a holiday, to Hawaii.
I think Mike's in on
2 more hours is another upgrade on my BMW.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Damn it.
So what's topics are coming up next time? Yeah, go on.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening next time. It all depends on what happens during the week that people are interested in talking about. So this week it was quasi-particles and mean drunks and stress monkeys. We will see what happens next week. It's always a mystery. You never know what's going to come out.
What time do you normally do it for those people watching? Are you West Coast time, aren't you? Is that right?
West Coast time, yeah. So 12 p.m. Pacific time is when I chat. So we will see if we'll be back.
12 p.m. is the time when...
Central.
Yeah, that's when
2
the sun
Central,
is in the sky,
3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. England.
GMT-ish, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, get good on the tools because we've got live. Get yourself I haven't seen it yet, have I? Says me. What am I talking about? I know what to say. Have you got a good so I'm just looking for the Dr. Kiki thing, the Kiki logo on your YouTube channel. Have you got a good one? I can't find it.
For my YouTube channel, it looks, I haven't personalized it really. It's just a picture of me. So, because it's just my profile picture for Google Plus. Yeah, it's my Google Plus profile picture. So
you need to get it.
At this moment, you have a live indicator on it.
Live! That's right. But for people watching this later,
you've got to get it.
Recorded! Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of personalization, professionalization that needs to be worked out here to do more of the Google Hangouting and YouTube living and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. For those people watching and for Kiki who needs one of these, you have to get your YouTube upgraded to 16:9, which looks like that, and then the top left it leaves a space. When you go live on YouTube, the little live button goes over the corner there on the top left. It's just a little tip there. Which is new in from Google Plus. Yeah. Okay, cool. Someone needs to wrap up the show then. Who's good at wrapping up the show?
Wrapping it up.
She's been
wrapping
doing
it
it
up.
for like
Good
4
tip. Be very
minutes.
careful.
Just keep stopping her.
I know.
No, I don't.
This has
I'm,
been
you know.
this has been the Science Chat. I am Dr. Kiki, and I'm wrapping it up for today. I will hopefully be back here next week to talk more science.
Without Mike Downs, he won't be allowed in his blocks.
Who knows if Mike Downs will be allowed back in? I might have the ban hammer. But we will be chatting about more science next week. You can also catch me, Kiki Sanford, here on the Google+. I am Dr. Kiki on Twitter and Facebook, and I do Dr. Kiki's Science Hour and This Week in Science over on twit.tv. So I do hope that you find me over there as well. And hope to see you soon. And I hope to chat with you all later. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks so much for allowing us in.
Yeah, does anyone want to promo their own stuff? What do you do? Where should people find you?
Oh, Mike.
We're always in the Hangout here, Kiki. We have a very sad life. We just like go from Hangout to Hangout, seriously. That's
terribly easy to find, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Jeremy, do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay.
These are the Hangouts
Every
where we
word
don't.
counts. Good job, Jim.
You don't get all these photographer Hangouts, the nameless ones where they go on and like plug each other for like about 10 minutes. Do they? Everybody says, do you want to say anything? Nah, not really.
Nah,
So
really.
Mike is Phineas and Jeremy is Ferb. Well done, guys.
Right.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and thanks, everyone, for watching, and I do hope to see you again very soon.
Thank you.